Welcome to Tiny Hands Big Dreams, here in southern Ecuador. Come take a drive with us. Today we head east through the Oriente to the town of Pangi. It's a beautiful drive, even on a bit of a rainy day like today. There's cacao fields, there's sugar cane as far as the eye can see, and there's absolutely beautiful views of the Rio Zamora. One of the things I love most about this drive, not only the beautiful natural views, but you also get to drive through all of these really cool little towns along the way. This is pretty common of drives through rural Ecuador anywhere, but this drive in particular I just find especially beautiful. One of the really interesting things about driving from town to town, or even city to city in Ecuador, is that there's no freeway. The experience that we've always had in the United States is you get from place to place pretty much as fast as possible. And it's not usually typically super beautiful. In Ecuador, every drive is kind of awesome. And driving from city to city, or big town to big town, as it is out where we are, you get to see all sorts of great things. You get to drive up through mountains and overpasses. You get to drive through cool little towns, and there's waterfalls. There's beautiful, beautiful views. There's nature everywhere. It's just really kind of amazing. So this view is simply, you're coming down a little bit of a hill from a town, and you're headed into another little town, and that's it. And it's beautiful. I absolutely love it. Drives here are one of my favorite things. Now we have a few stops to make today, the first of which we're coming up to shortly. But right before we get to our first stop, there is more beautiful view. It's green, lush, absolutely beautiful. Now right up here, there is something called tropicals. We're going to go in, we're going to show you around. It's kind of a bizarre and interesting place in the middle of kind of nowhere between two towns. So there we go, there's tropicals. Let's go check it out.
We've always wondered, what exactly is this place? So it's like an event center. They have like a huge motocross track over there that they do stuff. They have all these ponds and bars, restaurants thing. There's a movie theater. Inside is actually a grocery store, a housing store. I don't know. It's Kmarty, Walmarty, something. And they've had other stores. There was a motorcycle dealership. There was a bank in the front. There's an ice cream store. We've seen the occasional event here, but for the most part, I'm gonna say that there's more fish than people.
You will have to excuse our incredible awkwardness when it comes to filming in public inside a store. I'm not sure if we'd ever be less awkward as time goes on, or if this is just simply how it will always be in public. But we're like the only ones in the store, which somehow makes it more awkward. Alright, we're going to start upstairs. I think it's a 3-story building. We're going to start upstairs in what is sort of the home goods selection of items. This reminds me a lot of a Walmart. There is absolutely everything here. I will have to voice over or add my own music here, given the fact that there is music blaring in the store, and YouTube doesn't like that. So if you get a good view here, it's a pretty big place. There's a little bit of everything. It's not a huge selection of each item, you don't have a ton of different brands, but it's all here. Look at some pricing here. It's I think a little overpriced compared to a lot of what you'll find in other towns, other areas. Especially when it comes to appliances, I think they're a little bit more expensive. But there's something unique about Tropicals in that it is kind of the only place like this in the whole area. Once you get out the Orient past Zaza, this is kind of the next biggest thing. It's also everything in one place. And there is something to be said for that. There is a convenience factor. So if you're looking to buy a whole bunch of different items all at once, and you don't want to have to go to 1,000 different tiendas, this might work out. Now this tent, I'm only interested in because our tents are falling apart. And the price is, I think that's $130 for a cheap Chinese tent. Not terrible. There's everything from your bed linens, which again, there's only this one shelf of. So there are some, there's just not a huge selection of each thing. But there's also light fixtures and tools. Like the Ducati generator. It's not real. It's kind of hilarious. And the price, it said, was like $4, which is something you'll have to learn in Ecuador. The pricing on a shelf is very rarely correct for the item that it's on. And you have your hot water heaters, which might be a little bit strange for something like a Walmart, but it's like Walmart Plus. All your plastic goods. Again, I think you can find most of this far cheaper in little tiendas. But this is everything together. You got everything from cups and mugs and plates to, gosh, there's kids' toys. All sorts of nice Tupperware type items. Small appliances, your microwaves, your slow cookers. It's all available here. Usually you do have to pop around and find all of these things in different places, but that will also usually get you a better price. And mattresses, in case you also need a mattress. And that is the upstairs. A little bit of everything. Downstairs, they have a small sort of cold deli section. It's usually very small. It's not very well stocked. And there is something about Tropicals. It is almost always empty, like we said. And because of that, I think they've really leaned away from the grocery side, especially, as you can see by the empty shelf, anything perishable. Drinks are full. Vegetables and things, no. This is the little grocery section. It's rarely fully stocked. It's pretty sparse. That being said, there's a few things that we usually get here that are cheaper or sometimes harder to find somewhere else. A lot of it we've ended up finding because honestly it's kind of a drive out here, but if you've heard us talk about vinegar, this is important. This is the only vinegar in the whole of the country that we found that is actually 5% vinegar. So that's worth the drive right there. You have all your little end caps of random bits and pieces. And then our clothing section. Now, we haven't explored a lot of clothing selection and pricing in Ecuador. If you watch our videos, you know we need to. Our clothes are falling apart. We haven't really bought anything since we moved here 3.5 years ago. So we'll get there. And when we do, we'll make some videos so we can kind of show really how to get good pricing and good quality clothes. I am going to wager that this is neither great quality nor a great deal. But it's here. We've definitely bought socks here before. And they're fine. So there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Mostly, I would say women's clothes, but I know there's a little bit for everyone. And then we're done. We're out. Bought a few things, nothing exciting. And when we head out, there is the hosteria. Call it the cow resort. I'm not exactly sure where there's a cow, but it's a little hosteria. And our sign for Pangi. There's something about net life and this weird alien. I'm not totally sure what that is. But we're back to beautiful views as soon as we leave tropicals. It's like a strange oasis of modern civilization, and then right back to small towns and winding roads and beautiful views. It's road construction. It's funny here. I guess this is really road work, not road construction, but they're cleaning the sides of the road, which they do often. And that's what you get. You get a couple cones, and you pay attention, and you treat them nicely. And that's how it works here. And now we are going to head into Pangi. Here we are, Pangi proper. It's a pretty solid sized little town. And right at the beginning of town, if you turn to the right, you will go to the bus station. It's a pretty small bus station, but across from the bus station is the town square. Every single town, no matter the size, has a town square here. And they also have a town square sign with the name of the town on it, which is kind of fun. And if you're a gringo and you're lost and you don't know where you are, find the town center and it'll tell you. Welcome to Pangi. Very cool flowers.
So that tower, yonder, is where we're going. This is across from the old bus station. Child's petting the giant snake. Figures. This is the old bus terminal here in Pangi. So we're going to go up and get ourselves a vantage. Alright. So we have a cool bridge over the water. Those are actually like water playthings. They'll have nozzles and drains under them. For the kids. Not today. Today is not a hot day. Alright. Up we go. Come on. Try and look happy. Look normal. Act like a normal child. Can you act like a normal child? Anyway, art. Art's everywhere. always pleased by seeing beautiful pieces of art that they've put places. All right, a little bit of altitude. Let's keep going. Go. Slowing down. Yeah, definitely slowing down.
Can I go farther? I don't like it.
All right. Now we go up. Beautiful day. So there is Pangi. And we get over here towards the highway that runs through the Oriente. And that heads back to Yanzaza, the way we came. Interesting, we just spotted. There's a ton of fancy new greenhouses over there. Look at that. That's neat. So, as you cross the pass from, I'll go over here. As you come out of Loja, which is up in a high valley, and then you come down to Zamora, and then it's a long, slow, gentle down following the rivers into much flatter terrain. So if you're looking for more flat area, although it is slightly warmer here than where we are up there, just a touch. This is a nice area. There's a lot of rolling hills. There's all sorts of natural beauty. All right. We'll get you the bird's eye of the little park. And the bus station. All right. Cool. You do find some large bamboo, which I always enjoy. This is the golden bamboo. We'll get a little closer here. Check out its old root ball. Now up the valley from our house, and I also saw it in Zamora, is the giant bamboo, which is just huge. 8, 10, I think even 12 inches across at the base. And then it goes at least 60, 70 feet in the air. That's fun. We're going to grow some one day. I'm going to find some starts. So Pangi is an interesting little town. It's not that small, actually. It's decent size. It's got a bit of sprawl. There is physically more land here. It's not as constrained as some of the cities where they're stuck up against mountains. So we have, your tiendas, your micro mercados, your specialty stores. One sells batteries, another one that does fire extinguisher refills, things like there's all this stuff. We just saw a giant Banca de Loja a few blocks up, and it has all the normal things: your hardware stores, your clothing stores. The downtown looks a little carnival-y, where it's just sort of like all just sort of strung out and about like an open air store. That's kind of neat. We'll see some of that as we get up there. So we're just gonna roll back through and kind of show some bits and pieces and give you a feel for it. So what we have here is a Chinese bakery. There's apparently a bunch of Chinese because one of the big gold mines is Chinese owned. So there's a lot of Chinese people, there's Chinese stores, Chinese signs. We don't see a lot of it in general. People always tell me about it. So here's one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Pull over. The child was very excited about all of the crazy rocks, whatever they may be. Loves rocks, loves nature. He's over there. He asked me to get the shovel. We told him no. He's digging with his hands somewhere. He's already in a hole. I don't even know. He's mole man now. The odd things that child finds interesting. So that was Pangi. And there's stuff along the way. There's waterfalls. There's some other little stores. There's little touristy spots. There's plantations of cacao. There's stuff. Oh, there he is. And there's a pile of rocks. And that was deemed the most exciting thing possible. He said it's a whole different planet.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Yep.
And if you take it, you can just go humble. And then sometimes
Geology. I wish I had studied geology. Well, that has been our trip to Pangi and wonders beyond. I hope you enjoyed it. Catch us for the next one, and subscribe if you haven't. Oh no.